It has taken almost a year and a half, one of the biggest disruptions in a century of commercial aviation, but America's big birds are once again flying from their huge and increasingly busy air hubs to Africa. So on March the 14th of 2020, it was a Saturday, I was flying from Namibia in southwestern Africa to Zambia in Central Africa on South African Airways. So I was passing through Johannesburg International Airport, and that was really the first time that I saw a lot of people wearing face masks, and it was kind of freaky. I mean, you could tell something quite big was happening and potentially quite awful was coming. And that afternoon in Joburg, strolling through the terminal, waiting for my flight, I happened to look over and see the Delta Airlines flight arriving from America, from Atlanta, as a matter of fact, then one of the longest flights in the world, and went over to take a look at that, not realizing that was going to be one of Delta's last flights into Africa for a very long time. 2020 turned out to be the worst year on record for the airline industry. Around the world, the number of passengers dropped 60% compared with 2019, and the international traffic fell 75%. Well, that is all turning around now. In early August, Delta returned to South Africa, changing a plan announced just a few months ago. It's not flying to Cape Town as earlier proposed. It's gone back to the original route to Johannesburg, nonstop to and from Atlanta, its global hub. One change is the aircraft flying you, no longer a Boeing 777, which Delta has retired. The route is now handled by an Airbus 350, competitor to the Boeing 787 Dreamliner that United flies, and an aircraft I really enjoy. Ethiopian Airlines has added a few of these to its fleet. Sleek and about 20% more fuel efficient than the 777, which makes a big difference on a journey of 14,000 kilometers over 8,000 miles. Delta has resumed all of its pre-pandemic Africa routes, flying to Lagos, Nigeria, Dakar, Senegal, and Accra, Ghana. Now, to get more access into Africa, Delta recently expanded its codeshare agreement with Kenya Airways, often called KQ. Both of these airlines belong to the SkyTeam Alliance, and the deal means that passengers on KQ's nonstop to New York JFK from Nairobi can continue on Delta flights to Washington's Reagan National Airport and other U.S. cities. Under this marketing arrangement, Delta passengers into Accra, Ghana, can transition to KQ flights into Liberia and Sierra Leone, and from Nairobi, KQ flights to Kigali, Rwanda, Cape Town, and Harare, Zimbabwe will carry Delta flight numbers. This gives Ethiopian Air, part of the rival Star Alliance, some competition. Ethiopian flies into Washington, Chicago, and Newark in the New York area, and of course throughout Africa. Africa is the growth market of the 21st century for air passengers and air cargo. Today, Africa represents less than 2% of the world passenger market, less than 2%. And you can imagine that number is going to soar as African economies grow, as incomes rise, and as these countries become much better connected to the world. And of course, as African consumers, many African consumers take to the skies for the first time. United Airlines is the new factor in Africa. It started flying from Washington to Accra and to Lagos, in addition to Johannesburg from New York. And because United has many domestic flights from Dulles Airport in Washington, that gives those West African passengers good connections to other American cities. One of the biggest questions in Africa air travel is, will South African Airways ever reappear? Remember, it just went away in 2020. It's not just because of the COVID restrictions on international air travel, which obviously hurt the entire industry. That was really just the final tipping point. This was an airline that was in severe financial distress for a long time, also entangled in some really acrimonious disputes with its labor unions, and generally just not in great shape and fighting for its business survival. On August 2nd, the airline issued a statement that you could read as positive, saying that management is very hard at work navigating SAA into a state of readiness to resume operations. Meanwhile, Qatar Airways is in a new strategic partnership with Rwandair, and you also, of course, have Emirates and Turkish Airlines, which have lots of routes into Africa, getting you to America through some long transits through their hubs. As more people pack their bags and venture out into our brave new world, a travel rebound really is underway. and Planet Africa, eager for visitors, is spinning just a little faster.